Preference is really a starting point to really understand and comprehend our type. But the type becomes even more useful when we really understand and explore the combinations of our preferences and how they interact to create our personality. You'll also notice when you look at the type table that it's organized so that similar types are next to each other, and sections of the type table are organized in order to see qualities that are shared by groups or within the group of type. He has a dominant function of thinking. And what this means in our order of hierarchy is that they use their thinking preference first. However, it's introverted. So this means that their mind is going to work like a computer almost. It's going to organize data, it's going to reason very impersonally, objectively, and they're going to make very rational decisions based on data. They also tend to be very detached and objective critics. But what happens is, since it's introverted, this isn't what the outside world tends to see. Instead, what the world tends to see is more of the extroverted auxiliary sensing. This is where they're pragmatic, they're factual, they're realistic, they're even practical. And they're going to prefer to be a realist, meaning that they want things that are practical application instead of a theory. A theory is actually more frustrating to them. So they tend to be seen more as being very tolerant of a wide range of behaviors. Now, their tertiary function is intuition, which isn't going to be used very often. And then lastly, their inferior is an extroverted feeling. This is what's going to show when they are feeling extremely stressed out or frustrated even. They're going to be cynical, they'll be negative, they'll be critical. They may even withdraw their attention and their energy and even postpone some decisions as needed. Perception and the judgment part of our preferences, which is going to be sensing and intuition, plus our thinking or our feeling, is what influences our career choices and our interests. So our sensing and our thinking like to focus on the facts, and they're going to handle those facts through a very objective, experiential method. They are very practical, they're very analytical, and they tend to be very interested in technical skills and the objects and the facts. Some great careers for an ST would be applied science, business, administration, banking. Production is a great way for them, as well as law enforcement and even construction. Energy plus that external orientation, which is extroverted or introverted, plus your judging or perceiving, is how people are going to respond to any kind of change. So that introverted perceiver is an adaptable introvert. So this means that when changes are proposed, they're going to be very curious. They're going to seek information. Remember, they're adaptable. They like flexibility. They're going to then take the information, use their judgment, which is going to be based on values and logical principles, and then they're going to determine whether or not that information appears to be adaptable. And they're only going to move ahead on their own time because, remember, they are a flexible, spontaneous type of personality. Leadership, management, and the follower styles comes from a preference combination of our judgment preference and our external orientation. So our thinking perceivers are actually adaptable problem solvers. They're going to lead by example. They value and display a technical expertise, and they create a consistent and orderly framework for working. They like to be objective, skeptical, and they're very curious. And they're going to change their course as new information comes in that goes along with that perceptive side where they're spontaneous, and they're very effective problem solvers. Next, we want to look at our energy plus our perception. Now, our energy and our perception is how we are going to use our information. An IS, an introverted sensing, this is part of our thoughtful realists. The thoughtful realist believes that knowledge is important to establish what is true. Looking into the temperaments, we're now looking at the combination preferences of sensing and perceiving, which is called the artisan. The artisan is action-oriented. They love impact. They hunger for spontaneity. They tend to be optimistic, and they trust luck and the ability to handle whatever comes up. They're absorbed in the moment. They read people and situations, and they're adapt to changes very quickly in order to get jobs done. They love adventure. They're a very adventurous personality type, and they love experiences. They love variations, and they like to focus on tactics to help others and to get some desired results. However, they really need a lot of freedom in order to choose their next action. Remember that the purpose of learning about our MBTI type and those dynamics is really to help us in understanding ourselves and to better build and to aid in developing our relationships with others. And this is accomplished when we look at the combinations of our preferences, the dynamics within our personality type, as well as the development and the growth that is available to our psychological type.